Today, I have a message for Taurus. Remember to take what resonates with you and leave behind what doesn't. Let's dive into the message. The key thing here is look before you leap. If you've been noticing certain signs like the number 111 appearing frequently or butterflies crossing your path, these are signals from the universe. They're showing you that you've been approved to move into the next phase of your life. It's an exciting time, but it comes with a reminder to be mindful of how you approach this new beginning. Looking back at the past, it seems there may have been times when you acted too quickly. Perhaps you made decisions without fully understanding the situation or took on opportunities without thinking them through. For instance, you may have said yes to a relationship, a job, or a financial commitment without asking yourself if it was truly right for you. These could have led to challenges that felt repetitive, like you were stuck in the same pattern over and over again. This pattern might have shown up in different areas of your life. For example, in relationships, you could have met someone and jumped in too fast without really getting to know them or understanding if they were a good match for you. Maybe in your career, you quickly accepted a role or project without considering whether it aligned with your long-term goals. Or perhaps in your finances, you made hasty decisions without fully thinking about their impact. These quick choices may have caused you to face the same setbacks repeatedly, creating a cycle that felt hard to break. Sometimes going with the flow can be a good thing. It's important to stay open and flexible, especially when you feel divinely guided. But there's a difference between following your intuition and acting impulsively. In your case, it seems that some decisions were made in haste, without enough thought or reflection. For example, you might have been so eager to move forward that you didn't take the time to ask yourself if the opportunity or person in front of you truly aligned with your values and goals. Now, as you enter this new cycle, the universe is asking you to approach things differently. It's time to slow down and take a closer look at the choices you're making. Before saying yes to anything, pause and reflect. Ask yourself if it truly resonates with your soul and aligns with where you want to go. This applies to relationships, friendships, work, and even the way you spend your time and energy. One of the biggest lessons here is about discernment. Not everything that comes your way is meant for you, and that's okay. You don't have to agree to every opportunity or accept every person into your life. Instead, focus on quality over quantity. Surround yourself with people and situations that uplift you and bring out the best in you. Make sure that the decisions you're making now are building a foundation for the future you truly want. For example, let's say you meet someone new, whether it's a potential friend or a romantic partner. Instead of jumping in headfirst, take the time to really get to know them. Ask yourself if their values align with yours, if they bring positivity into your life, and if there's someone you can see yourself building a long-term connection with. The same goes for opportunities in your career or personal life. Before committing, think about whether it's in alignment with your bigger goals. This new cycle is also a chance for you to close out old patterns. If you don't take the time to reflect and change your approach, there's a risk of repeating the same mistakes. Think of it like a lesson that keeps showing up until you fully learn it. The universe is giving you the chance to break free from these patterns and step into a more aligned and intentional way of living. A big part of this process involves self-love. In the past, you may have been so focused on others that you forgot to prioritize yourself. Perhaps in relationships, you gave more than you received, pouring all your energy into someone else without leaving enough for yourself. Or maybe in other areas of your life, you put other people's needs ahead of your own, leaving you feeling drained or unfulfilled. Now is the time to turn that energy inward. Start by asking yourself what truly makes you happy. What do you need to feel fulfilled and at peace? Focus on nurturing yourself and building a life that reflects your values and dreams. Remember, when you're at your best, you're better able to give to others in a healthy and balanced way. For someone specific, this message might resonate in a particular way. For instance, if you're in a relationship or friendship where you feel like you're always giving more than you're receiving, it's time to take a step back. Ask yourself if this connection is truly balanced and if it's helping you grow. If it's helping you grow. If it's not, consider whether it's worth holding on to or if it's time to let go. Similarly, if you've been making decisions that don't feel right deep down, this is your opportunity to change that. Maybe you've been saying yes to things out of obligation or fear of missing out. Now is the time to trust your intuition and only say yes to what truly feels aligned with your path. As you move forward, remember the phrase look before you leap. Use this as a guiding principle in everything you do. Take your time to assess situations, understand the details, and make thoughtful choices. This doesn't mean you have to overthink or become overly cautious, but it does mean being intentional and mindful. For example, if you're considering a new job, ask yourself if it aligns with your career goals and values. If you're thinking about starting a new relationship, consider whether this person truly supports your growth and happiness. And if you're faced with a financial decision, take the time to weigh the pros and cons before committing. This new chapter is an exciting one, full of opportunities for growth and transformation. By approaching it with care and intention, you can create a life that truly reflects who you are and what you want. Trust that the universe is guiding you, but also remember to take responsibility for your choices. You have the power to shape your future, and it all starts with the decisions you make today. To sum it up, this message is about embracing a new way of living, one that's guided by self-love, mindfulness, and intentionality. Take this as a sign to slow down, reflect, and make choices that align with your true self. You've been given the opportunity to step into a new cycle, and it's up to you to make the most of it. So, Taurus, as you move forward, remember to look before you leap. Trust your intuition, prioritize yourself, and create a life that feels right for you. The universe has your back, and this new phase is your chance to shine. Take it one step at a time, and know that you're on the right path. You've got this. This is a story many of us can relate to. You give your love, time, and energy to someone and later realize they didn't appreciate it or weren't who you thought they were. Perhaps they used you, mistreated you, or took you for granted. You might have trusted them too quickly, loved too deeply, or given too much without fully understanding who they really were. These experiences can be painful, but they are also lessons. The message here is important as you move forward in life, especially in relationships and big decisions. Take your time. Be cautious. Learn to look carefully before you leap. Don't rush into situations or relationships without considering whether they are truly good for you. In the past, you might have found yourself in similar situations repeatedly. You may have encountered the same kind of people who brought negativity into your life or made you feel unworthy. You may have made the same mistakes again and again, letting people into your world without fully understanding their intentions. These patterns happen when we don't take the time to reflect and learn from our past experiences. But this new season of your life is about breaking those cycles. It's about doing things differently and making better choices. Sometimes life tests us by bringing back familiar patterns or people. Imagine meeting someone new only to find that they behave like someone who hurt you before. It might feel like history is repeating itself, but this is actually an opportunity. It's life's way of asking, have you learned your lesson? Are you ready to make better decisions this time? This is where the advice look before you leap becomes so important. Before you jump into anything, whether it's a new relationship, friendship, job, or even a financial investment, take a step back. Pause and reflect. Ask yourself if this person or situation truly aligns with your values, goals, and the person you've become. Don't rush into commitments or decisions without making sure they're right for you. Let's talk about relationships. In the past, you might have loved someone more than you loved yourself. You might have given so much to them that you neglected your own needs. Over time, you realized that they weren't who you thought they were. Maybe they didn't treat you with the respect and care you deserved. This kind of experience can leave you feeling hurt, disappointed, and even questioning your own judgment. But it's also a chance to grow and learn. Moving forward, it's important to put yourself first. Before you invest your time, energy, or emotions into someone, make sure they are worthy of your love. Take the time to get to know them and see if their actions match their words. Look for signs that they respect you, appreciate you, and are willing to give as much as they receive. This doesn't mean being overly cautious or shutting people out, but rather being intentional and thoughtful about who you allow into your life. This advice doesn't just apply to romantic relationships, it's also relevant for friendships, work, and financial decisions. In the past, you might have been too trusting or too quick to say yes to opportunities that weren't right for you. Maybe you've worked with people who didn't respect your contributions or taken jobs that didn't align with your goals. Maybe you spent money carelessly or invested in things without fully understanding the risks. Whatever the case, now is the time to approach these areas of your life with more care and consideration. When you start something new, whether it's meeting new people, starting a new job, or trying a new venture, take the time to evaluate it. Ask yourself important questions. Does this align with my values? Will this help me grow? Is this person or situation adding positivity to my life? If the answer is no, it's okay to step away. You don't have to say yes to everything or everyone. You have the right to protect your energy and prioritize your well being. This new season of your life is all about growth and self respect. It's about learning to value yourself enough to make choices that honor who you are. Let go of the habits, people, and situations that no longer serve you. This doesn't mean holding grudges or being bitter about the past. Instead, it means taking the lessons you've learned and using them to create a better future for yourself. For some people, this message might feel especially relevant right now. Maybe you've just ended a cycle of repeating the same mistakes. Maybe you're starting to see how those experiences have shaped you and made you stronger. This is a powerful moment. It's a chance to move forward with wisdom and confidence. You've learned to put yourself first, and that's a beautiful thing. It's important to understand that being careful doesn't mean being closed off. You can still open your heart to love and new experiences, but do so with awareness and intention. For example, if you meet someone new, take the time to get to know them before diving into a relationship. Pay attention to their actions, not just their words. Look for consistency, kindness, and mutual respect. If you're considering a new job or project, research it thoroughly and make sure it aligns with your goals. If you're thinking about making a big financial decision, take the time to weigh the pros and cons and seek advice if needed. This season is also a good time to reflect on your boundaries. Boundaries are essential for protecting your energy and maintaining healthy relationships. Think about what you're willing to accept and what you're not. Communicate these boundaries clearly to others and don't be afraid to enforce them. Remember, saying no to something that doesn't serve you is an act of self love. One key lesson from the past is the importance of self love. When you love and respect yourself, you're less likely to settle for less than you deserve. You're more likely to recognize red flags and walk away from situations that don't feel right. Self love is about knowing your worth and refusing to let anyone or anything undermine it. As you navigate this new season, keep in mind that growth is a process. You won't get everything right all the time, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep learning and striving to do better. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Every step forward is a step toward becoming the best version of yourself. Finally, remember that you are not alone. Many people are on similar journeys of growth and self discovery. Surround yourself with supportive friends and mentors who encourage you to make wise choices and believe in yourself. Lean on them when you need guidance or reassurance. And most importantly, trust yourself. You've come this far because you've learned from your experiences. You have the strength and wisdom to create a brighter future. Many people can relate to this story. You give your love, time, and energy to someone only to later realize they didn't value it or weren't who you thought they were. Maybe they treated you poorly, used you, or didn't appreciate what you offered. These experiences are painful, but they can also teach valuable lessons. The main takeaway is simple: take your time before making big decisions, especially in relationships. Be cautious and thoughtful. Don't rush into things without considering if they're truly good for you. If you found yourself in similar situations before, you might notice a pattern. Perhaps you've trusted people too quickly or given too much without really knowing them. Or maybe you've encountered the same kind of people who brought negativity into your life. These patterns often repeat when we don't pause to reflect and learn from the past. Now is your chance to break free from these cycles and make better choices. Sometimes life tests us by bringing back similar situations or people from our past. It might feel like history is repeating itself, but it's actually a chance to prove you've learned. When faced with these moments, stop and think. Ask yourself if this person or situation truly fits the life you want. This is why it's important to look before you leap. Before committing to a new relationship, friendship, job, or decision. Take a step back and evaluate. Does it align with your goals and values? Does it add positivity to your life? If not, it's okay to walk away. You don't have to say yes to everyone or everything. In relationships, it's easy to give too much and forget about your own needs. Maybe you've loved someone deeply only to realize later they didn't treat you with the respect you deserve. These experiences can hurt, but they also teach you to value yourself more. Moving forward, make sure to put yourself first. Get to know people before investing your time and energy in them. Look for actions that match words and choose relationships that bring mutual respect and kindness. This advice applies beyond relationships. It's also important in friendships, work, and finances. Maybe you've taken jobs that didn't align with your goals or trusted people who didn't value your efforts. Now is the time to be more intentional about the choices you make. Before starting something new, pause and reflect. Consider whether it truly supports your growth and happiness. Setting boundaries is also essential. Boundaries protect your energy and help you maintain healthy relationships. Be clear about what you will and won't accept and don't hesitate to enforce those limits. Saying no to things that don't serve you is a form of self-respect. Most importantly, practice self-love. When you love and respect yourself, you're less likely to settle for less than you deserve. You recognize red flags sooner and avoid harmful situations. Self-love reminds you of your worth and helps you make choices that honor it. Growth is a journey. You might not get everything right all the time, and that's okay. Celebrate your progress no matter how small. Surround yourself with supportive people and trust that you have the strength and wisdom to create a brighter future.